Hi there, Tim Dolan in Ashland, Oregon, and been back now for 2.5 days from my stint in northern Iraq, Kurdistan. And I've been involved yesterday contacting my connections at the university and others concerning some of the things that I witnessed there and some of the opportunities to maybe make a difference, however small, in the refugee camps that I visited in Kurdistan, and where we might be able to make some people-to-people connections. And of course, this is again very preliminary. The reception is one of interest, but not of mobilization at this point. And I've had this variation on this experience before, having traveled in many places in the world, that you come back from these journeys and perhaps have witnessed extraordinary things. And yet, to those back home, if you will, it's hard for them to relate. And I suppose one shouldn't be surprised by that. But it makes it very difficult, of course, to relate. People don't know the adventures you've been on. They don't know your journey. And in trying to communicate that, yeah, there may be some interest, but it's simply not the same as the direct experience that you yourself had. And so it comes off very often in a very underwhelming way for them and for you, the traveler, in that they seem to really have no more interest in your experiences than if you had just gone off to summer camp somewhere, and might have some interesting pictures, but again, they're not necessarily going to be moved perhaps to action. And again, very human thing. So I'm a little bit stuck at this point. I haven't exhausted all options. I will continue to tell the story of the people of Kurdistan and of the people who I think also have a story to be told over there. But I'm also realizing too that people are best helped who can help themselves. It's just that I believe in the case of places like Kurdistan, they don't really have a point of reference. Plus, there's all sorts of impediments, mostly from neighboring countries, that make establishing a truly peaceful, just, and open society very, very difficult. So these are things we struggle with. It's something that I'm struggling with now in terms of trying to relate the experiences and the people that I've seen and their way of life being meaningfully expressed. Sort of rambling right now. I guess I'm still working through how to express this experience in a way that perhaps will move people, and move people in a good way. I don't expect that people are going to be making donations per se, although in the case of the refugees, that wouldn't be a bad thing. There are, as I say, kind of complicated issues. And it's very difficult to come up with solutions. I'd like to come up with solutions from my perch now 11 time zones away from where I was. I'm realizing that these issues really do seem distant, and I think distant culturally. So I guess maybe, again, I'm still sort of struggling with how we can make connections and how we can make the world a better place. So I'll sort of sort this out and hopefully come up with something a little bit more articulate in a future date. But these are my thoughts for today. How to make those connections, how we can make our world better, particularly in areas that are so troubled, like the Middle East and, as I said, northern Iraq, which is in relatively good shape, but is in a bad neighborhood for sure. Lots of things going on, a lot of things that Americans simply don't know about. I'd love to express this in a public forum. I'm struggling to find one that would be working. It seems that Southern Oregon University may not be the best place for a variety of reasons, which is unfortunate. It is, in my view, their loss. I guess that's where I'm finally landing on, I won't call it a theme, but on a problem. And that is, while the American University of Kurdistan has its problems, every university, I think, has its issues. Southern Oregon University, in what I've gathered from at least one colleague, is a little self-absorbed and doesn't really have a global perspective, which is, to me, a shocking thing for a university anywhere not to have an effective global perspective and global reach. We'll see how it goes. As I said, it's just been 2.5 days since I've been back, but I'm a little surprised and somewhat disappointed that I'm not finding a clear pathway to get the story out. So with that, let's see where things go. This is going up on YouTube, and maybe people might have solutions, including those here in Southern Oregon. Again, there's a story to be told, more than one, and I'd love to share it. Okay, with that, Tim Dolan signing off.